Hey everyone, if you haven't heard, Kevin Paffrath from Meet Kevin, the financial real estate YouTuber, is running for governor of California. By the end of this video, you'll know three things. One, you'll know more about his race and what his platform is. Two, you'll know the three reasons why he won't win. And three, you'll learn what you can do to prove me wrong. Welcome to Escaping the Echo Chamber. So, as I've said, Kevin Paffrath is running for governor of California. He's running in the recall election. It's been certified, but there is another step required for certification, and that's a 30-day period for them to make sure that nobody wants to withdraw their names from the signatures, because they gathered enough signatures to recall Gavin Newsom. And now there's a period, basically like a cooling off period, for people to say whether or not, I'm going to take my name off the list. But even if people do take their name off the list, as long as they meet the required threshold, the recall election goes through, and the Gavin Newsom will be facing a possible recall. But what happens is, at the recall election, people will have to answer two questions. One, do they want Gavin Newsom out? And two, who do they want in? So Kevin Paffrath is running. If you know him from his YouTube channel, real estate guru, YouTuber, finance guy, money guy, and he's got some really interesting ideas. He was on Fox Business with Kennedy the other day, and that's what's going to bring us to reason number one why he is not going to win this race. One of his proposals is that anybody under $250,000, so there will be no state income taxes on $250,000 and below. No state income taxes. Now you're saying, wait a minute, that sounds great. That sounds awesome. Why wouldn't he win with that platform policy? Because it's not the people that's the problem. It's the system. It's the Republicans, it's the Democrats, it's the entire apparatus that is not going to like somebody promising to end income taxes. And this is not something he just is planning to do as a stimulus for the pandemic. He wants to do this permanently. Take a look at this. We just came through the most devastating financial, one of the most devastating health crises not just in our lifetime, it's definitely in my lifetime, but in American history, one of the most just tumultuous and just hardships that America has ever seen. And throughout all of this, people were losing businesses, people were losing jobs, people were out of work, people weren't able to make their rent payments. And through all of that, the government talked about, $1,400 stimulus, $2,000 stimulus. Do you know what the government never proposed? You know what they never considered? They never considered not taking our money. That was never an option. Throughout all of this, throughout all of the chaos, throughout all of the hardships, throughout all of the absolute just destruction of people's livelihoods, of people losing loved ones, of people losing breadwinners of their family. Throughout all of that, never once did the government say, hey, let's just stop taking people's money. That was never an option. That's reason number one, because above all else, you don't mess with the government's money. Reason number two, another part of his platform is introducing something called Future School. I love this idea. I love it so much. I had a similar idea when I ran for mayor of New York City. Kevin, obviously, being a YouTube guru, being a finance guru, being a real estate guru, being somebody that deals with actually being financially educated and realizing how important and how useful financial literacy was to his success, realizes that our public schools absolutely suck. Absolutely. They're trash. And they are designed not to teach kids to succeed, but to teach kids just to work for people who do succeed. So one of the things he's mentioned was, why are 18-year-olds graduating from school and then being stuck with minimum wage jobs. Exactly. Or to borrow a phrase from somebody else, of course. Yes. Like this is not rocket science. This should be obvious to everyone that if people are complaining about kids not being able to, or adults not being able to pay their bills, not being able to make sufficient money to survive, being stuck making starvation wages, why are the vast majority of these politicians complaining about starvation wages, not acknowledging that the public school system has absolutely failed us? Because why are high school graduates unable to pay their bills? Why are high school graduates only able to get minimum wage jobs at fast food or retail? Why? Because the school system sucks. And Kevin has a plan to change that, to teach actual useful skills so that by the time people graduate, they can take care of themselves. It's a brilliant idea. Well, wait, you said it's the reason why he won't win. Oh, yes. The reason why that's a problem is because it's an actual solution. You see, none of this that's happening, the 13 plus years of wasting kids' time, you think it's an accident? You think all over the country, none of these politicians has been able to look and say, wait a minute, maybe we should do something about our educational system if so many people are unable to survive after going through our educational system. Because that's not their goal. That's not their objective. They know their educational system sucks. They know they're setting people up for failure, and they're doing it on purpose. So when somebody like a Kevin Paffrath comes through and is offering an actual solution, he's going to ruffle some feathers. Reason number three why Kevin Paffrath will not win the recall election. It's because he's running as a Democrat. You may say, wait a minute, why is that a problem? Like, it's California, it's a blue state. He can't run as a Republican. People won't vote for a Republican. So you see, in normal elections, when you run for office, in different states, there's slight differences. But normally, what the political party does, it acts, what people think the political parties do is that they act as a support, a base to help you and move you forward. And that's true, but it's only true for people that political party actually want to move forward. You see, what a political party actually acts as, what the Democrats and Republicans are actually doing, what the Democratic Party and the Republican Party is actually doing, are acting as gatekeepers to government. Their job isn't to help people get to government, it's to stop people from getting to government. That's their job. So by the time you get a choice on your ballot, it's been vetted and controlled by the Democrats and the Republicans. That's the purpose of their parties, to make sure that the names that actually show up on these ballots have been approved by them. However, recall elections, and there's, and special elections, like in New York, special elections oftentimes are nonpartisan. So that way the party can't have as much influence as it normally would in determining who gets to the ballot. The issue there still is they still have the infrastructure. So even though and I believe this is true with the California recall election, even though there may be multiple people who could identify as Democrats or independent or whatever, the infrastructure for gathering signatures, for promoting candidates, and things like media are still controlled by the party. So if the party decides they don't want somebody to get press, guess who won't get press? So it's really interesting. It's really good that he was able to get on Fox Business, but that's Kennedy. Kennedy is not your average everyday media pundit, talking head. Kennedy is somebody who will bring independence on. Kennedy was one of the few people that actually showed people there was a third option on the ballot in 2020. A lot of people didn't realize that, but you do have people like Kennedy who exist, who will give some shine and some light, shines a spotlight on people like a Kevin Paffrath. But in a state like California, a lot of people, you're going to need more, because you're going to need more media and more access in order to let everybody know, hey, somebody else is running. And this is what they're about. However, I said there was a third thing you were going to know by the end of this video. The third thing I said, you would know what you can do to prove me wrong. You see, Meet Kevin has an advantage most politicians don't. Meet Kevin is a very popular YouTuber. Meet Kevin doesn't exactly need CBS, NBC, ABC to promote him because he has his own channel. However, not all voters have access or utilize the access to his channel. So there is some things that people are going to need to do if they want to see him succeed. MeetKevin.com is his website. You can go to his website and donate. In addition to donating, the word needs to get out. Let people know if you're in California. If you are not in California, but you know people in California, tell them about Meet Kevin. Tell them about his platform. Send them to his website. Send them to his YouTube channel. Make sure they know. And the third thing that I think might actually help him, I'm a little biased in this area, is a message for the California libertarians. Listen, in the event that the Democrats decide to keep running obstruction, because they will, we know how they operate, you might want to take a look at Meet Kevin. I mean, like, he had me at no income tax. But I'm not a California libertarian, so it's up to the California libertarians to decide whether or not they're actually going to support and amplify a candidate like a Meet Kevin. I think that would be a great move for the California libertarians, and for all I know, they could actually be in contact with him. If not, somebody better get on that. As always, don't forget to give me a thumbs up, like, share, subscribe. If you like what I said, if you're a fan of Meet Kevin's, yeah, make sure you do those things too. But if you disagree with what I said, if you're like, hey, no, Gavin Newsom is great, and I hate that guy that's running against him, go ahead and give me a thumbs down. But don't just give me a thumbs down. Give me a thumbs down and write why in the comment section, and I can address it either now or in a future video. Either now in the comment section or in a future video. I'll see you next time.